Did you know that most affairs start at work? Roughly 85% of them, so let that sink in. 1 in 5 employees admit that they have been unfaithful with a colleague. Not at a bar, not on vacation, but at work. So what the hell is going on? She gets them to softball practice. You call the plumber. She grabs the groceries. You take out the trash. You both are co-managing the house and the chores, but you're not building a mission together. Then you go to work. You're on a team. You share a purpose. You share goals, and you share the same pressure at work, right? You're solving problems together, laughing together, eating together, fighting the same damn deadline together. And check this out. You're spending more time with that person at the office than you are in your own home with your spouse. And let's add this too. Everybody typically looks good at work, right? Makeup on, cologne on, perfume, well-dressed, smiling, typically on their best behavior. So it feels irresistible. It feels alive. But then you go home and it's not even close. Pajamas, no makeup, and negative, venting about what's wrong with everything in the world. You don't have the same connection you have at work. That's why people say, I feel so good at work. I feel so good with my coworker. I don't care. And boom, you blow up your marriage. You blow up your kids' world. You blow up your career. So how do you guard against it? Simple. Boundaries. If you're attracted to somebody at work, do not go to lunch alone with them. Don't text them after office hours. Don't ride alone with them in a car. And that might sound extreme to some of you, but what's more extreme? A boundary or losing everything? And you and your spouse must be building something meaningful together. You need shared purpose at home, in life, in what you're building together. That way, work becomes just work and you're not starving for connection at the office. But if all you have at home is routine, work is going to feel exciting, and exciting is addictive. So don't wait until you're 3 months into divorce to take this seriously. Guard your marriage like your life depends on it, because it does.
You know how there's only female gyms? Imagine if there's an only female social media platform.
Sounds like a wonderful idea. I can just see it now. Just imagine what women would be talking about on a women's only platform. Yeah.
If you could open an Instagram or TikTok account and only allow girls to follow you, only allow girls to see your videos, like engage with your content, whatever, and every single man was just banned on the platform. They couldn't sign up.
I think that someone is under the impression that it would somehow be better without men. Because do they think that women never leave disparaging, nasty comments? I mean, they could take a look at some of the comments I receive.
That would literally be my dream, because all my TikTok videos is just filled with hideous men commenting vile, disgusting things.
Well, that is unfortunate. However, there is a reason the block button exists. But it is rather naive to think that if a social media platform was only consisting of women, that they would never receive any nasty comments. Please.
I just want to block every single man. I don't want men to see my content. But like, you can't do that. You can't block every single man on social media. I feel like that would be a really great idea.
Lots of things have been called great ideas and often ended in disaster.
So I seen this post, right, where she says that it's $45,000 to $50,000 if you want to be her man. If you want to be her man, you have to keep up with her monthly expenses and give her a little bit extra on top for her to put away and save if the relationship doesn't work. So a lot of people are offended, right? They're like, oh my God, 50, whatever. Now, mind you, this young lady probably dates men who can afford to do that. But that is not the takeaway from the message. The money amount is not the takeaway. A lot of you had got so caught up in the amount of money that you're not listening to the message. You can get the coochie for free. You can get the coochie off of energy, off of a vibe, off of chemistry. But to keep the coochie, to maintain the coochie, to make the coochie exclusively yours, that's the payment. And that's why a lot of these women get men, but they won't keep men because you're too expensive to keep. You're a great time, and this is the difference between great time chicks and lifetime chicks. They look good. I tell you guys all of the time. It's like when you go to Miami and you drive the foreign car. It's fun for 3 days. But after a while, after you get tired of putting 93 gas in it, after you get that first maintenance bill, right? You get tired of hearing vroom, vroom, vroom every time. You start to miss your Saturn or your Kia Optima.
Ladies, if my husband is wrong about something, I don't argue. I don't convince. I let life do the teaching. If I'm right, the only thing standing between him and realizing I'm right is time. My energy is not for proving points. It's for holding my standard. When the truth arrives to him, he sees it every time. That's the thing about being a woman in her power. You don't need the last word when you have the right one. Follow for more love hacks that actually work.
She's confident in her man's abilities to figure things out is what it is, which is a really, really good thing. And so, if she says something and she knows he might be a little bit off, she knows he ain't going to be off forever. He's going to do what he needs to do. And it's probably going to, pretty soon, he's going to figure something out.
I only have problems with women when I ask them to be with me. And they like to make excuses, right? You must have did something. I'm the same consistent person. So whatever have them so in love be the same thing that turn into you doing too much or not enough. And the funny part is 100% of the time, they never told me this shit. They just do what they do and use it as an excuse after. It's kind of like somebody slapping you and then wanting to talk about it. But it ain't nothing to talk about at that point. So whenever I start asking questions, it's not because you can get away with lying to me. It's because I already know some shit and I'm trying to see what you're going to say. But the thing is, if you try to make getting cheated on the biggest part of it, you will never really understand. People don't just cheat. They stop doing things that they did before, and that make you ask questions. So even if you don't really know about the cheating, they still acting funny. They still being more disrespectful and distant. And that's why I said the cheating ain't that big of a deal for me, because if I know that shit, it ain't nothing to figure out no more. But it's the little things like why you not connecting, why you not texting back or answering your calls. Then they try to tell you tripping, you insecure, you just can't handle a baddie and all that extra dumb shit. But like I said, at the end of the day, for somebody like me, the most important part is the comfortability. You switched up, you disrespectful, you distant, and you damn near fucking with another nigga. Now I'm extremely uncomfortable. You understand? That shit outweighs everything. I don't care about nothing but my uncomfort. So I leave and I start a new relationship. But now I'm at the point where I feel like starting relationships is asking for too damn much. So I'll never ask again. Subscribe to my YouTube, Planet Reality.
My thing has always been, I need help. So, marriage counselor, I need help. My spirituality, pastor, I need help. Okay, drinking, smoking, women out, whatever y'all doing, just help. That's what you need to say. That's the first thing. The first thing you need to do is wave your hands in the air, throw up the white flag and say, I don't got it. I don't got it. I need help. And I'm not saying you got to cower and fear and crawl and grovel and all that. That's not what I'm saying. I boldly, confidently will say, hey, I need help. Please show me how to do this. I need guidance. Why? Because once I get it, I got it. It's like any real man that's out there.
She didn't trick you. She didn't lie you. You weren't blind. You just wanted to believe the lie that you invented in your own head. The signs, my guys, are screaming at you from day one. The mixed signals, the excuses, the way your stomach dropped every time she did something shady, but you excused it. Anyway, you felt it. You knew, and you chose to ignore it. But then you called it women behavior. You called them misunderstandings. You told yourself, oh, she's been through a lot. And that gave her a pass to treat you like a damn dog. That wasn't love. That was an unhealthy attachment. Most men don't get played. Let's be clear about that. Most men get emotionally hooked to the woman. And once you're hooked, logic jumps out the window. In your fantasy clouds, your judgment. You believe anything just to keep that story alive, because admitting the truth sometimes hurts more than the breakup. I get it. It's easier to say she will change, or she fooled me, or I had no idea. But deep down, you knew, buddy. You always knew. What really hurts you is not losing her. It's realizing that you had the answers the whole time and you just happened to look the other way. You felt it in your chest at 2 a.m. when you couldn't sleep. You questioned it on the drive home from work. You saw it in her patterns, her inconsistency, and in her excuses, and you stayed anyway. You stayed and prayed that it would just magically fix itself. That's not love, man. That's denial. Stop falling in love with a pretty face or a nice body. Stop dating based on how she makes your heart race in the first 3 weeks. Stop building a future on a fantasy. Fall in love with consistency. Fall in love with effort. Fall in love with how she shows up every single day, not just when they feel like it. Fall in love with her actions, not her words. And fall in love with the person who doesn't make you question at all where you stand, because your denial will come with a bill and it will be expensive. And sooner or later, you're going to have to pay for it with your peace, with your sanity, with years of your life that you're never going to get back. So again, she didn't trick you, buddy. You tricked yourself. Now stop doing it.
I think a lot of men do this in their relationships because they want to help. I don't think people realize that, just how much men want to help. I mean, men catch a lot of flack for, oh man, you just helped me because you wanted something in return. You wanted to have sex with me. No, I like women, and that's always a huge plus, but men like to help. Despite what people say, they call men lazy, but a lot of men work very, very hard. They like to say that men are bums, but a lot of men work very, very hard on whatever it is. They have a lot of knowledge about it. And when somebody asks them, hey, or if they get on a topic that a man knows about, then man, he lights up. It goes for anybody, but a man lights up and he says, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Man, I can show you. And so, he's trying to show you over and over. Hey, man, I can show you. Right? It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Yeah, no, I can help you out. Don't worry about it. Hey, man, don't worry about it. I do it for a living. No, don't worry about it. I can come over and I can let it for free. I do it for free. Right? Man, go to church or wherever it is. He might be at work or he might be at the store, and it'd be a woman. Oh, what's going on? He walking out with his groceries. He got milk and eggs. He got ice cream. He got ice cream in his hand. He should be going to the car. He should be going. But if he sees somebody, hey man, you need some help? I'm a mechanic. Let me take a look at it. Oh, no. And then, oh, man, she gonna see at the last minute, oh, you got milk and eggs? No, let me buy it. No, don't worry about it. I can go get some more. Hey, have a good night. Hey, my mom was a single mom, so I understand it. I get it. I don't need no money. I just want to help. Oh, thank you so much. Might give him a little hug. No, you have a good night. Take care. You know what I mean? And you probably see that woman online sometime or something like that. Hopefully say, man, I met the sweetest guy tonight. He was a mechanic. It was a godsend. My car had been acting up for a month now, and it finally stopped on me. It finally went kaput on me, man. And I didn't know what I was going. I didn't have the money. And then just right then and there, a man walked out the store, happened to be a mechanic. Helped me out with my cars, and it's been running smooth for about a week now. I went to a mechanic down the street. He told me it's going to cost $2,000, but he fixed it for free. I tried to give him some money. All I had, he didn't want to take it. He said, be blessed. Men want to help. But when you start to get in situations like this, like she said, even when men are stuck a lot of times to duty. Whereas a woman might leave, a man is stuck. He's like, I don't want to abandon my post. Somebody told me to do my job. I got to do my job. Oh man, you got to get out of there. I got to go down. What, man, you going to let her take it out, man. I don't know what else to do. I got to go down with the ship. But men nowadays, they're turning away from that mindset. Even if they were raised that way, and they're saying, man, no. Like I get put in awkward positions trying to help somebody. And I don't want to do that no more. It'd be one thing if it was just, oh man, it was a one-off. Like she was saying, oh, I said, That ain't nothing. That's woman behavior, right? Or maybe she had a bad day. But modern women string together a series of bad days, and then they'll get their friends to string together a series of bad days, and all of the bad days be happening to you. And be like, man, what's going on? Why I keep on running to these type of women? So a man begins to withdraw and he goes somewhere else, right? A lot of brothers are protecting themselves now.
This one here saying that they had an argument through the drive-through, and their order was wrong, and they wanted their money back, and I guess some words was exchanged. And the video started with them already having a food fight. It looked like old girl and got chili put in her head and everything. So they tore the windows up, man. So over a few dollars. Now they probably finna go to jail and have all kind of cleanup fees. So let's get into it.
They have put in too much trouble over here. They have broken the window. Give me my motherfucking car. They have broken the window over here. They have had too much trouble. Get in the car. I will fuck them up. They have to give me. They have come in, please. First. They have said here in the windows that are broke.
Let's go! Get in the car!
You should be locked. You should be locked. They should be locked up over a few dollars, over a misunderstanding, or maybe your order got wrong. I don't care what it is, bro. Now you finna probably go to jail. Now all three of y'all look like your mama and the two girls finna go to jail. You finna have all kind of damages to pay for. You know these restaurants got cameras everywhere. What type of demon time behavior that these kids and people are on, man? If you order wrong, just get my money back.
Ain't nobody flyer, my shepherd be papaya. Your girl know that. Why you hate me and your wife got a crush on me? You should ask about that one.
That's her.
You should ask about that one. Yeah, you should ask about that one. How you hate me and your girl got a crush on me? The math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. How you hate me and your girl got a crush on me? The math ain't mathing. Something don't add up. The math ain't mathing.
You want to pull your crush from school, then this video is for you. I'm in college now and I have lived through this, so trust me when I tell you that I know what I'm talking about. Alright, let's get right into it. Number 1, you're going to use the group project method. If you have a class with the person that you have a crush on, when class ends, you're going to pack up at the same pace that your crush is, so you're walking out together. You're going to pull them aside and say, hey, can I get your number just in case we ever need help on homework? They are not going to say no. This way you are in because you have their number and you have an excuse to text them and start a conversation. Number 2, the bag trick. If a girl is carrying all of her heavy books, she's going to ask her guy crush to help her carry her book. And if you're a guy, you're going to offer to help. While you're walking to the next class, it is so easy to start a conversation and get to know them. And there's something inherently flirty about a guy helping a girl carry stuff. And number 3, if you're ever sitting next to them in class, you're going to start doodling on their paper or ask to give them a tattoo with pen on their skin. This will show a little bit of your fun side and that skin-to-skin contact and just being near them. Follow for more if you want to partner.
Let's go to the next one.
Fellas, free game. This may not be right, but this is just what it is. The broke man cannot get away with what the man with the bag can get away with. And that's just what it is. Because these women don't see y'all outside of what y'all can provide for them in the financial aspect. Your other qualities that you have does not pay the bills, does not keep her in the latest, does not keep her in the car that she desires to drive. So women said, different standards and boundaries for the broke man versus the man with the bag that can provide her the lifestyle that she desires to live. So fellas, if y'all want to date the type of women that the men with the bag date, y'all want to have the type of leverage that the men with the bag has over women, you got to get your bag up.
I'm going to be honest with you. In this day and time, she's absolutely 100% correct. There's two different standards. Man who with the bag get treated a certain way, and the man who don't have the bag get treated a certain way.
At this point, I don't even think women hear their own words that are coming out of their mouths. I hear a lot of women say, I want a masculine man who knows how to lead. But then you get said masculine man who leads, and you only want him to lead when it benefits you. And when it doesn't benefit you, you turn off bedroom activities to punish him. Saying you want a masculine man who wants to lead and then not letting a man lead is quite literally like, what are you talking about? And I see this so much. Constantly interrogating him, questioning him about his leadership, arguing with him when he says something. And trust me, I know it takes practice to do this. I do, because I am somebody that doesn't always take Shane's word. But I have learned over time that when he says something, it is one, for a reason, and two, because it's going to make a difference. And if I had just listened to him the first time, I wouldn't have been where I was had I just listened to him. And he's called out some stuff a couple of times, but I'm able to acknowledge that and take accountability for seeing what needs to be done, right? So if you are in a relationship with a masculine man who is trying to lead you, and every single time he tries to make a decision, you are questioning him or going against what he suggests, then you don't want a masculine man who is leading. You just want to be in control of the situation and the leadership. If you like my content, please like, share, and follow. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Evolutionarily, if I were to sit there and have a study say, okay, which man 27,000 years ago would be more likely to have his own children that he's raising? The man who lets other men hang out with his wife all day at the cave, or the man who protects his wife from being around a bunch of other men? And then you say, okay, where does jealousy come from? It's an evolutionary adaptation. You can use the science to understand where that comes from instead of listening to somebody on some show, Mooncat, talking about that's, immature. You're just an immature dude. Like, no, this comes from a place. If my jealousy, my mate guarding allowed me to raise my children instead of being cuckolded by someone else, that's where it comes from. That's not insecurity. That's an evolutionary adaptation. Now I know why that's the case. Whenever I had a debate with this one woman. She's a polyamorous matchmaker. And she's like, you've never let your girlfriend fuck another dude in front of you? Well, you're missing out. You don't know. And then I explained to her, she's like, most men would enjoy it. I was like, hold on. Let's go back to first principles. What does evolutionary psychology tell us? If most men enjoyed watching other men fuck their wives in front of them, they wouldn't be raising their own children. They'd be raising someone else's children. The men who didn't allow that would raise their own children. That genetic proclivity would be passed on. The men who were cucks would not be passing along their genetics. Therefore, the cuck proclivity is it's the recessive gene. It's not the dominant gene.
I don't mean to bother you. Any chance you'd be okay with being part of an interview for my communications class?
Sure.
It'll take like 2 minutes real quick.
Sure.
I got some questions here.
Okay.
And actually, you'll read them off to me, if that works for you.
Yep.
So, question 1.
What is your favorite movie and why?
Good question. I would say my favorite movie is probably Revenge of the Sith, just because like the character arc of seeing Anakin going from a good guy to a bad guy, it's very unique. Next question.
How did you become so tall and handsome?
Great question. I would say it's just genetics, it's just the way God made me too.
That'll get you.
There you go. That's enough for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Julian!
Hey, thanks for being a good sport. Yeah.
Suzanne, do you come with warranty?
Excuse me?
because this attitude seems pre-owned. It seems like the previous owner couldn't fix the problem either. My question is, was it a lease problem or did they just simply give up?
I'm not gonna lie, the sweetest guys I've ever had I didn't like. Damn. I like a good guy, but I feel like the good guys don't look and act the way I want them to. Like, they be kind of corny sometimes. Their look isn't the look I like.
Anybody that is not black in this country that is a minority has benefited from the civil rights movement.
They don't
and the
acknowledge
things
that part.
that black Americans have fought for, and they never acknowledge that. They want to use what black Americans have built to survive and exist in this country, and they want to hop onto that, and they want to subvert that to push their agenda. I don't have problems with anybody, but you have to realize whose shoulders you're standing on, and they're all standing on our shoulders. All minority groups benefit on what black people have fought and died for.
I love how men always think that every single girl they encounter wants to date them, marry them, settle down with them, have children, and they get scared. Like, bro, she just asked you to move out of the way.
Are we on the same planet? Most men, you could be flirting with them, telling them, oh, you're so handsome, let's go out. And he's sitting there like, does this woman like me? Because a lot of men don't want to overstep or make you feel uncomfortable. So they'll assume any nice gesture you do for them is you not actually liking them. I don't know where you got this from, but a lot of men don't jump to that conclusion at all. That's why these little hints that women talk about doing where they like look at him twice or smirk slightly don't work. That's why you have to be blunt. If you want to go on a date with him, go up to him and be like, I want to go on a date with you. Let's go out. You're cute. Let's go. And for some men who might react oddly to you asking them to move out of the way, it's because they might be so used to random women they don't even know treating them badly. A lot of men can't even go out in public without a woman constantly looking over her shoulder, treating him like he's going to harm her. And I understand women have to keep themselves safe, yes, but it goes way too far. A man can't even go to the park and walk his dog without feeling like all the women at that park are like watching him, staring him down, making sure that he's not up to anything, and he's literally just got his headphones in walking his dog. So no, men are not thinking that.
I mean, I know women think that men be worried about them, but they really don't be. Men be zoned out. Men be thinking about other things. They be trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills. They be trying to figure out another business proposition, what they going to eat sometimes at the when they get to lunch, when they get home, anything and everything besides these modern women. Not everything is about you.
A lot of manipulators are good at making you like them for a while and making you think that they like you. And you can also recognize them by the fact that when you first meet them, they're in a hurry to befriend you, to be someone that's like your friend. And that's often a dangerous signal that they're trying to befriend you in order to hurt you. Because the normal thing among humans is when we meet someone new or a stranger, there's a distance. We're a little bit wary, and it takes a week, months, maybe years to let the guard down and let them be friends and open up to them. But when someone is pressuring you to like them right away, to say, God, I really identify with you. You're so great. Something weird's going on, something political, some kind of game is going on. Your power, your superpower is recognizing these toxic types before they get involved with you. And the ability to withdraw your emotions from them is the most powerful thing that you can do.
Times are just too serious for foolishness. It's not fun anymore. It's not cute anymore. And above all, for the love of Black Jesus, JFK, and Martin Luther King, leave fat Black women alone.
Y'all, have you ever heard of bird hands? I'm going to show you something real quick.
Bird hands. Beware.
As soon as she starts doing this with her hands when she talks, you are in danger. This is the universal hand signal of manipulation. That bird hand, that's her way of saying, shut up, while trying to inject projections and delusions straight into your brain. Her bird hands are trying to turn your brain into a bird brain. Oh, no. If you let...
Who's in charge here?
I'll let you check it out yourself if you'd like.
Black Jesus, JFK, and Martin Luther King, leave fat Black women alone. Get another pinata. It's tired, and we got one foot in the grave.
See, that's that aging, some faster than others. And her stories were sponsored by Jumbo Margs, Jumbo Airport Margs. I did not say that. She said that. This certainly was an experience. I did not mean to put that. I removed. We want to thank Dr. Tressie McMillan Cottom for her story. Thank you. Y'all, we got a lot more to do, y'all. I'm so glad that you're here.
Okay, so I want to talk about sexuality for a second. Women that sell their sexuality, women that use their sexuality to get validation and approval, and what that's doing to you psychologically. So I made a lot of mistakes before I was married when I was younger, and one thing is I had learned at a very young age, a lot of men were attracted to my body, and so that put me on a spiral, thinking that I was desired and measuring that based off of seeing the likes, the comments, DMs. And what I noticed today, when you're watching these podcast episodes of these OnlyFans models that are rating themselves as 10s when they're really not, it's really what's happening to you psychologically when you're selling your sexuality, and you confuse the two of I'm a value versus I'm sexually desired. And there's a huge difference. Value does not need to take its clothes off. You shouldn't be taking your clothes off or giving away the most intimate parts of you if you are valuable. A diamond is kept in like a locked box, or you can't touch it, right? If you were to go to a jewelry store, you can't touch it. You can't just have access to the diamonds. And they're of great value. They're very expensive for you to be able to obtain it. It's not cheap. And so a diamond is reserved. It is covered. It is protected. It's concealed away. Okay, so if you are a value, then you would be covered. But as soon as everybody has access to touch it, wear it, it loses its value. So now your brain is associating your worth to your sexual desirability. What happens is now when you're in a relationship, you have this superiority complex where you believe I can control men. You think I can get any man that I want, any man that I please, and that I am above, looks wise, value wise, I am above the average woman. Now when you get into a relationship, you have a superiority complex, or I would like to say a huge inflated ego. And when you lack humility, you will also lack submission. You know what I mean? You'll not be able to submit. You'll believe you're above this man, or you're above his order, you're above his authority, you're above, even changing things about you because you were so desired, worshipped. You were able to get any man sexually that you wanted before. So it makes it really hard for a woman to submit to one man or devote herself to one man, especially if you were put on a pedestal. Anybody that felt like they were a little G, man or woman, is going to have a hard time with commitment. The ego that you have built from selling your sexuality or from obtaining men due to your sexuality isn't real, because it's not built on your character. It's not built on your discipline. It's not built on a long-term relationship where you guys got through multiple seasons of challenges you've been able to conquer through different challenges, spiritual, mental, physical challenges, and you guys push through it together, and that builds your value, especially in a relationship. You haven't learned your value based off of going through refiner's fires. You know what I mean? You learned your value based off of men desiring to have sex with you, and it messes up the reward system, because the reward system is supposed to be built off of, wow, I conquered this, and I handled this with grace, and I handled this with so much maturity, and I handled this with love, God's love, and I got through that, and and I got rewarded for that. And that's not what's happening. It's through cheap you built this off of a really cheap substance, which is physical. I think this is why women get lip fillers and injections and BBLs and all this other stuff, because now you're measuring your worth due to, once again, sexual desires, and that physical validation that you're looking for is replaceable. There's a lot of beautiful, attractive women that men would want to have sex with. Because your ego, your inflated ego, is built off of something that's, like I said, that's so replaceable. You have a fragile ego. Very fragile ego. What it does is it causes you to have validation dependencies. That's something that I also had really struggled with. I needed so much validation that I was beautiful enough, that I was worthy. I needed to constantly hear those things and see those things. I learned that a woman of God is to be praised. If your spirit is ugly, then the physical form really does not matter. Looks and gets the person, but your spirit is what really determines if they stay. And I wanted my spirit to be so beautiful, and the way it's beautiful is that I can go through a refiner's fire and build my character. That right there built such an identity in me, and so I have true, real self-esteem, and I didn't have that before when I went off of physical looks. Superiority complex is actually insecurity with armor on. It's fake.
A lot of what she's saying, if not everything, is completely true. It's completely true. A lot of these modern women out here, they learn to control men or try to control men by using their body. They try to do it by using their looks, right? And this is kind of what Kevin Samuels talked about. You always try to do that until like the wall hits. And I know a lot of, oh, well, I'm still fine and fabulous after 30 and all that stuff. You guys don't understand. You're wearing out your welcome. It's going to be a day where that's not going to work anymore. And then what are you going to do? What did he say? McDonald's or something is still hiring after you get done with, oh, he paid for this and he paid for that, but seem like don't know men want to pay attention to me anymore. Well, fast food is still hiring. So you can go get a job there after you get through playing around.
Your man deserves to come home to a baddie. I said it. And only if he's a good man. Only if he's a good man that treats you good, he deserves to come home to a baddie. Right? I've seen a lot of videos of women that will be like, this is what I looked like when my man came home and I still got some. I believe that a man loves you regardless of the fact. And men are men, essentially. Men are visual creatures. They are. They love you. They look at you and they're like, I love her. But like, would I prefer to come home with her out of her pajamas? The hardest time I ever had in my relationship when I first became a stay-at-home mom was when I treated my stay-at-home mom job like it wasn't a job. I'd wear an oversized t-shirt the whole day. I didn't have a social life. Wasn't pursuing anything, and I wasn't putting any care into myself. If a man truly loves you, he wants you to look good. If he secretly doesn't like you, then he doesn't want you to look good. He wants to hide you from the world and hold you back. But a man that truly loves you wants to see you shine. When you truly put that time into your self-care, prioritizing yourself in a relationship, the best you will shine. Listen up, I know we're all tired, but it takes 10 minutes. Get out of your pajamas, comb your hair, take a nice shower, spray some perfume, put on a little bit of concealer and some lip gloss. Your man will love that. Do it for your man, but also do it for you.
What a lot of women don't understand about this is sex is sacred. You gave your body to another man for a bottle of Jose Cuervo, and now you expect a man to invest into you. The man that you plan on marrying, the man that you plan on having pay for your bills for the rest of your life. You want him to jump through hoops, and you want him to wait 6 months so you know that it's true. Meanwhile, all it takes another man is a fucking Big Mac. So first things first, in a marriage, it's literally in the Bible, you are not to stop your husband or your wife from having access to your body. You literally give your body to them and cannot tell them no. It's in the Bible. So if you're married to somebody and you say something like, no, I've done that in the past, I'm never going to do it again, then that's a fucking issue because you're rejecting your man and stopping him from having access to you in a certain way because another man already defiled you. And because of your experiences with another man, you're not going to give your man the same gift that you gave them. Now let me make it easier for you to understand. Imagine you like getting head. Now, some women don't, so just imagine you like being satisfied. Imagine the thing that satisfies you most, right? Now, imagine your man tells you, hey, I've already done that with many women in the past. It's just not something I'm comfortable with, and I don't want to do it anymore. Are you going to be okay with that? Are you going to accept that? Are you going to think about all of the women that he ate out, but he's saying no to you, the woman that's supposed to be your wife? Imagine you want your booty ate, and he's like, nah, I've already ate like 10 girls' butts. I just don't want to do it anymore. But you really want it, and you've never experienced it, and now you're married to him. But he refuses to give you an experience you've never had because he's already had it with somebody else. Point is, you wouldn't be too happy. Now, you bring up the meaningfulness of a relationship, but how meaningful is a relationship if you're dating a woman who gave her puss to somebody after a party, but doesn't give it to you until 6 months later? How meaningful of a connection is it? Because it seems like you had a better connection with the first guy because you liked him so much, you were willing to open yourself up for him immediately. So it doesn't really correlate to me what you mean by a meaningful relationship, because if there was meaning in it, then you would want to have sex with me because you had sex with somebody else that was supposedly meaningless. Actually, I found Jesus and I shouldn't have to delve in the same sin just because I used to be a hoe. Beautiful. I'm glad you found Jesus. That still also means if your husband tells you to give up the booty hole, you do it. But I'm glad that you feel the way you feel. I'm just going to tell you, go find a man that also got saved after being a slut, because you don't deserve a God-fearing man that kept himself pure. Those men deserve pure women.
And unfortunately, it is that way, to where you're thinking, I mean, you were given all these guys, yeah, you know, that was just a phase in my life and yada, yada, yada. It's like, yeah, man, but you were giving all these guys this type of access and they were doing you wrong. Like, they weren't even paying attention to you. So why now, when I'm doing right by you, how come now, all of it, I don't really do that no more. I just don't, you know, it's just not something that I do. And, I just don't feel like I should, and all that other nonsense. Why is it now? That's what I don't understand. Now you want me to pay $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for a life of boringness. Now you want to settle all the way down. You don't want to have no fun. You don't want to experiment. You don't do none of that. Oh, well, you married me, so you just should have been okay with it. It's like, I married you. I thought that was going to be part of the package. That's all you married me for? I thought that was going to be part of the package. There's a lot of different things that you can marry somebody for. And essentially what you'd be doing, modern women be cutting off 25 to 35% of the package. Off rip. Oh, since you want to act like that, then I'm going to cut off 50, 60% of the package. And then essentially, and this is why a lot of men don't want to get married, it essentially turns into you in the first couple of years or so, operating off of 50%. And you know, or getting 50% of the benefits, and you know, the older you get, oh, well, I'm tired. I don't know if I want to do this, and I just can't. And then now that 50 becomes 60 and it becomes 70, and you still paying, mind you, you're still paying for 30% access, 30% of the benefits, when she was talking all that game. And before y'all got married, she was saying, oh man, you gonna get, just wait. You gonna get 100%. You gonna get 110%. You just gotta take care of it. Modern women are the biggest con artist known to man in this modern day.
How is society changing when it comes to infidelity? There are more reasons than you may think why women stray outside of their primary relationships. According to Ashley Madison, the #1 website worldwide for married dating and affairs, people sometimes stray to stay. Joining us now is Alicia Walker, a PhD and author of The Secret Life of the Cheating Wife, with the inside scoop about infidelity and how it pertains to folks here in Charm City. Alicia, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So first things first, you say that the reasons that people might stray they go beyond just what we think in our imaginations. And Ashley Madison actually had a survey that co-signed that. Can you explain a little bit some of these reasons?
Sure. I, like everyone else, thought the reasons were very simple before I did the study. But what I found was more than half of the women I talked to were either in sexless marriages or marriages where the sex was not fulfilling. And so that drove them outside the relationship. Now, they got more from those relationships than just sex, but that was a primary motivator.
Now, typically the sexless marriage topic is male dominated. More often than not, you will hear men complain about S-less marriages as opposed to women. So let's just take that at face value. Let's say that we believe her on that one. The other one was way more interesting. Unfulfilling. This is one of the many reasons outside of the stats and statistics, and I can show you that as well as to why body count matters. See, the stats say that the less bodies that she's accumulated, the less likely that she will try to divorce. If she's experienced all of these different flavors of eggplants with different RPMs attached to them, if you know what I'm saying, then she will be less likely to be long-term satisfied than the man that gets down on bended knee for her. It's kind of like, let's say you walk into an ice cream store and there's 50 options of ice cream and you pick out a top 3 flavor. You go back the next week, those 3 flavors are gone. And you're like, shit, I only got brambleberry crisp left and blueberry muffin flavor. Shit, those are good. They're okay, but those are not the top 3 that I had before. And I may continue to long for the top 3, even though they are no longer available. Now, if I never had those 3, would I long for them? No.